Good morning, Saitlanders. How are you? As you know, Mr. Miller has always said, I'm kind of putting words in his mouth now, but I think that the spirit of what I'm saying is truthful and honest, that our main enemy is not the black people of South Africa. It is the Doornbos. It's whites like us who don't have our hearts. People who reject the true salvation of Jesus Christ and who reject their own people, who reject the Boer folk, and so on. My point is that, for whatever it's worth, I personally feel very strongly the same way. And I mention that not because this video is about me, but because hopefully it will lend some credibility to what I'm going to say, for whatever it's worth. I hate vicious, needless racism. I remember being in the army at Krijgskool Danitron, and some of the guys shouting and swearing at black people walking along the road beneath our barracks on the other side of the fence. And I remember some of the guys passing cruel comments about the coloureds who were on our base. There weren't many, just a few, a handful. And I hate it. I travelled through Africa when I was younger, on and off for about 3 years, and a little bit less. Hitchhiked. I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, about that age, 23, 24. And all of the goodness that I experienced was from black people. It was a time when there were very few, if any, white travelers. Very, very few. And I only, for instance, came across one other group or group of white travelers in Africa, in East Africa, over that period. And all of that time, can you believe it? So when I was in trouble, as people get into trouble, you have hard times, difficulties, you're at a loose end, you're lost, it was always black people. This is what we're going to talk about is something that I could have spoken about long ago, and I'm quite familiar with this stuff. I'm quite familiar with the work of J. Philip Rushton. I'm quite familiar with the work of James Flynn and Richard Lynn and Charles Murray and so on. But I prefer not to talk about those things, and I never ask Mr. Miller's permission to speak about those things, because it opens a can of worms of racism that's completely unnecessary. It's just not necessary. But in recent days, I've had even my kids. Many of you know my sons. I'm blessed to have splendid sons, with their heads screwed on properly. But even they have been saying to me, yeah, but Dad, the guy that was shot dead, the black guy, it was just because he was black and this, that, the next thing. And I try to be patient, but, the subject came up again this morning, and I'm over being falsely moderate on this subject just for the sake of other people's feelings. So I'm going to give you just 2 statistics. And hopefully this will provide some perspective on these apparent race hate crimes that are being reported all over Sky News, BBC, ABC, NBC, CB, Internet, Online, Times Live, News 24. According to the FBI's official hate crime statistics for the most recently published year, 2016, the rate of hate crimes by blacks in the United States of America is 3.55 per 100,000 per year. And that means out of every 100,000 black people in the United States of America, 3.5 of them will commit a hate crime every year. Not a very high number, but wait for it. The rate for whites is 1.07 per 100,000 per annum. In other words, a black person in the United States of America is 3.5 times more likely to commit a crime, a hate crime against another race, a crime based purely upon racial hatred. 3.5 times. That's 3,500%. I beg your pardon, 350% higher. Yeah. Let me tell you something else. According to the Bureau of Justice in the United States of America, 593,598 interracial violent crimes were perpetrated in the year 2018. 537,204 out of 593,598, 537,204 were perpetrated by blacks. As my dad would say, now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Don't let the media form your opinion of your people. Don't let the media tell you who's good and who's bad and who's right and who's wrong. It's the very last source that you should trust. I'm going to do a follow-up video on some good media sources. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good day, Saitlanders. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.